NFL, a big trade today between Houston and Buffalo. The Texans get star wideout Stefon Diggs in their latest big offseason move. The Bills do get a second-round pick, but they have to carry a dead salary cap hit of more than $30 million this upcoming season. That's the highest dead cap number for a wide receiver ever. Meanwhile, the Bills, their Super Bowl odds went from 12-1 to 13-1. They remain the favorites to win the AFC East, though those odds have tightened. As for the Texans, they moved from 22-1 to 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. C.J. Stroud is now at 10-1 to win MVP, so that's moving down slightly on C.J. Stroud as well. So lots of movement. Wasn't expecting this on a Wednesday, rather rainy Wednesday as well, just to set the ambiance here. But Joe, let's start this off.
That was important.
It was important, you know, it made my day a little bit better. At least I had something to talk about. What is your thoughts here in terms of this move for Houston overall?
You don't make money anywhere buying high and selling low. So this move goes down today, and what's the reaction? Oh my God!
That was my
Houston's
reaction.
win the Super Bowl.
Not that high.
C.J. Stroud is going to win the MVP award, maybe, but it's priced that way. You're not finding any value in this at this point. The value would have been making a move on this before it happened. So now we're in a situation where you're going to see a lot of people fawning all over Houston. If it was that easy to make money, I got a bridge to sell you in the middle of the Nevada desert. The key here is to take a look at the ripple effect and try to find yourself some value. Enter the Jacksonville Jaguars, plus 260 to win the AFC South. Look at how that price dropped off. This is a team that went 8-3 last year before they completely folded up shop and collapsed down the stretch of the season. So, of course, everyone's checked out on them and no one wants a piece. Hence the buy low proposition. Doug Peterson's won a Super Bowl as a head coach. Trevor Lawrence still ascending as a quarterback, in my opinion. They addressed the offensive line in the offseason, which was one of their biggest concerns. And now they're being priced like a team that's an afterthought in the division because Houston is so stacked. Houston's going to be good. Plus 260, that's where you find value. I'd play the Jaguars to win the division right now.
Now, it's our job to hear this information, hear the news, and then equate it to the betting odds. And, like, you make a great point in terms of value in this market because it has moved. You're welcome. But in terms of Houston as a whole, I mean, I would look at them in the AFC. I know you're not saying there's much value there because it obviously has moved down, but
I've been wrong once or twice.
Plus 750. I mean, this is a good team. This was a team that had 10 wins last season. They exceeded expectations. C.J. Stroud won Rookie of the Year. Now you factor in Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Now you put Stefon Diggs, a guy that's had at least 1,000 receiving yards in 6 straight seasons. He's led the league in receptions in the 4 seasons he's been with the Buffalo Bills. This is going to help them be even better. So I do like them to win the division. I talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You weren't here. I think you were in Miami. I was talking about it with Anita. Just, you have fun.
Working.
You have fun on the side. You
Working.
were funning. Little Miami Vice.
Couple pina coladas, maybe.
Just a couple deep. But I do like them to win the AFC and also looking at the division as well. Since I mentioned
one thing
Stroud,
to keep in mind, if I may jump in.
Go ahead.
2 pina coladas later. When it comes to Diggs, one thing to keep in mind, wrong side of 30, number one.
He is older,
two,
I'll give you that.
Stats dropped last year. Play took a hit. Some would say he was playing hurt. Maybe that's something, maybe it's nothing. Number 3, Minnesota, it didn't work out. Buffalo, it didn't work out. Maybe Houston, new relationship. Everyone's happy with each other early on. Probably, but things to consider. When you get very excited about this trade, there are a few red flags out there.
No, I understand the red flags, and also last 7 games of the season, he didn't have 1 touchdown, which is the longest streak in his career, only had 41 receiving yards. So there were some issues there. Let's talk about the Bills side of things and how that's going to be shaken out in terms of the market. They did slightly move back. How do you think that they're going to look this season, or do you even think it's worth a bet right now?
All right, so much like everyone jumping on the Houston train, everyone jumping off the Buffalo train. So sometimes that can create opportunity in backing
I was waiting for you to say that.
Might be at a buy low. Here's the problem. The prices weren't adjusted enough. Look at that. Plus 135 to plus 160 for the division.
There was slight.
Okay, maybe. But when you talk about Super Bowl odds, Josh Allen MVP odds, it's almost as if they didn't really lose anything. It's a slight adjustment, which I think they should have either adjusted more if they wanted my money, or they should have kept it where it is because maybe the Bills have something up their sleeve in terms of how they're going to address the wide receiver room. Price to keep in mind here, the New York Jets. Obviously, everyone will laugh at that. Why would you not? The Jets have been laughable for pretty much their entire existence. But here we are in a situation where their price is the 3rd best team in the division. They stacked up on defense. Rodgers is coming back on offense. They built up his offensive line. A lot of question marks, a lot of health concerns. I get it.
A lot of question marks.
But they're priced like a team that doesn't have that great of a shot. Miami didn't beat anybody last year. Anybody of note. They have to prove it. The Bills in decline. They lost Gabe Davis as well at wide receiver. The Patriots have a win total of 4.5. I think the Jets are off a little bit there, but again, famous last words, take it up with Greenberg if you don't like it.
It's almost surprising to see the Buffalo Bills be the favorite in their division because they had so many losses. We took a look at that graphic that I wanted to go through. There were so many players that they lost that really made an impact on this team, so they're going to have to adjust to that. And also, when we look at this, here we go. See the graphic right here. You got Diggs,
they did bring in Trubisky.
Floyd, Morris, Poyer, Hyde. I mean, it's crazy. Mitch Trubisky, are you kidding me? Please. But I do think there will be value in terms of betting somebody else in the AFC East. I wouldn't take the Buffalo Bills to win the conference. I wouldn't take them to win the Super Bowl. I definitely wouldn't take Josh Allen to win MVP. It's going to be so interesting. The conversation around this team is, was Josh Allen good because Stefon Diggs, or was Stefon Diggs good because of Josh Allen?
Yes,
I cannot wait for that. We have all off season to be talking about that. So stay tuned for more on that. But let's get to Anita.
Yeah, all right, well, let's start with the Texans first and foremost. C.J. Stroud, not only were we talking about him winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year, if you recall, guys, there was some conversation about him winning the MVP. Now you take an offense that was top 12 last year, 7th best passing offense, 22nd best rushing offense. They add Joe Mixon, which he's going to be utilizing the passing game as well. He has a plethora of fantastic wide receivers he's working with, and now you add Diggs. Ain't going to be mad at you if you want to throw some MVP odds on C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans. I had them, Erin, as you said. We talked about it a few weeks ago while Joe was sipping pina coladas on South Beach.
Just two.
Yeah, we were already on the Texans. You could still get it at plus money. I still think there's value there. So another player prop I'm going to look at in regards to the Buffalo Bills. As you guys pointed out, the Buffalo Bills have lost so much. Look at Khalil Shakir, their wide receiver. I've been on this guy for 2 years now. His first year didn't amount to much. Last year, he became a household name. This year, he might be the go-to target for Josh Allen. So I'm going to be looking at over receptions, over receiving yards, over touchdowns for Khalil Shakir. I think he could have a monster year this year. Those are two player props I'm going to be looking at due to this trade.
Oh, man, already getting the player props in there. I knew you were going to come with a plethora of plays. So